Rockeyez would like to welcome Ronnie and Jeff. Welcome to the Freak Show. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, man, what's up? I mean, I know Ronnie a long, long time, and Jeff, I photographed you during the Cinderella and stuff like that. And now we have Welcome to the Freak Show. I have the CD right in front of me, and man, everyone, that track really pumps you up. Can you tell me first a little bit about the writing material and stuff like that, and how you guys got together and stuff like that? Let's start with Ronnie first.
Well, as you know, we initially got together, when I was in Miss Crazy, back in the day, when we had just, the first two albums, right? And then I did the Freak Show, with Benelli.
Right.
And but Jeff and I we initially were going to do that anyway.
Right.
Regardless if Frankie was a part of it, he just came in later, and then you know the whole story on how that really didn't go good. But it was a great album. It's probably one of the best albums I've ever done. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I think, Jeff probably feels the same way.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, so you elaborate on that, Jeff, and then we went from there, and he came out, and we did this great record,
Cool.
So,
and how'd you guys actually meet?
MySpace.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was MySpace, man.
MySpace was the bomb, dude. I mean, that was when things were fun. You know what I mean? Facebook is like, it's okay. Compared to MySpace, where you could just have endless amounts of friends and endless promotion. And you had your own little website kind of thing with a music player on it.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, Brian? That's how I met you too.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was the endless amounts of PR. I mean, like, Miss Crazy went on a whole nationwide year-and-a-half tour because of MySpace. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And it was great. But yeah, Jeff commented on the Can't Get Enough video.
Right.
And I wrote him. And then he wrote back, and we corresponded, and then, he was like, And he wasn't doing nothing, right? It was, a couple of years before Cinderella even reunited again. And we made that great album.
Right.
So, the second time around, what we did is we changed the name due to legalities.
Right.
We don't need to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And we had something that we could, give to people that we weren't going to get sued for.
Right.
So we re-recorded some of the tracks on the album, like a little more than half of it, and we added a couple tunes, that were not on that original one, and we'll probably do another one shortly, eventually here.
Right. You have a new CD coming out in 2016?
I wouldn't say we wouldn't.
Right.
What?
Right.
I don't know.
Now, most of the stuff you're doing it seems like on the West Coast. When you coming east? Jeff?
I think that's up to our booking agent, right?
Uh-huh. Right. I mean, us East Coast people, well, you're part of it, are thriving for some Welcome to the Freak Show, and
I understand what you're saying. And now we have new management and new booking agent, and I think they're working on stuff for March.
Right.
Which is what I've been led to believe.
Or April.
Right. Now you do play, I saw photos and video and stuff like that. I guess all shot on the West Coast and stuff like that. Do you hope to, tour the whole country when you, go out again?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, absolutely. Every time I work with Marcus, I go out, I go to him.
Right.
I'm actually from Philly.
Right.
And I live in Nashville.
Uh-huh.
So, we do most of our work on the West Coast. And the last time we did a short tour, it was mostly out west. So, yeah.
Just to see if we could play together. That's what that tour was.
Right.
Just to see if we had the right thing, and it turned out good, and it was fun.
Right.
It was a nice little trial run.
Yeah, right. It was the first time. It was actually the first time me and Marcus ever played live together.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. How about when you guys write? Do you write together, or do you do solo writing, or how's that work?
No, so far Marcus has been the sole writer of everything, but we've talked about it, and we want to write together. Maybe put some of my songs into the Freakshow catalog.
Yeah.
Both.
That's what I kind of approached him on the last tour. I was thinking, I'm like, hey man, this next thing that we do, or even like shows we do, we should have you singing more. Gives me a little break, because then we can do the more difficult songs that are for me vocally, instead of like trying to hide them. Like I was trying to do that, huh, dude? Remember before? Yeah. I was like trying to lose songs because I'm, man, I don't know, that's too hard,
Right.
And
no, but because
yeah.
Yeah, because I have a solo record out,
right,
and I do all the singing on that record. So we
so we
try
want to incorporate that in there, and then even if the next album that we do, we want to have Jeff singing on it also. So it'll be
cool.
And I think that'd be fun. I really would like that. Anyway.
Wow. Now, are all the past bands, I'm talking about Miss Crazy and Cinderella, are they put to rest now and stuff like that? You looking forward?
I don't know. Well, if you're asking me, I don't think we're put to rest.
Right.
we may be put to the rest home, but but you never know.
Right.
You never know when we could come out of that. Keeper's been he's been touring a solo record that he put out a couple years ago.
Right.
So I don't know.
Wow. And how about you, Marcus, with Miss Crazy? Is that done with?
Well, that's the same kind of deal, but elaborating RE on his thing.
Right.
They can throw me behind the curtain.
Nah, no way. No possible way.
Hey, that's funny. That's exactly what Tom said.
Throw me behind the curtain.
No.
But no, I don't know. I don't know how many more albums Miss Crazy could ever do. I mean, we did, what do we have, like 5 or something like that, and so it's like, I don't know. You never know. I mean, just one bored day, you could kick out another record. But as far as like playing to tour that band or play anywhere other than like some local gig, if it was a good offer, it's really kind of dead in the water. I mean, it's like we've done what we've done, and there's still plenty of people that can buy the albums we already have.
Wow.
And Cinderella probably depends on, when Tom gets tired of doing his solo thing, and a lot of it comes down to money.
Right.
If someone offers us a big chunk of change to get back together with Cinderella, it might happen.
Right.
I don't know.
Right, yeah.
But all of us in Cinderella, we all do other things.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about now, is me doing this thing with Marcus.
Right.
And Freakshow.
Right.
Welcome to the Freakshow. So, I put out a solo record a year ago.
Right.
So yeah, we're always working. Eric, my bass player from Cinderella, he's been playing in a few different bands, and Fred Corey, he's been doing soundtrack music. He's been doing music for
working in movies. Yeah, he came to see us in Hollywood.
He's been doing movies and television shows.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he feels the same.
We all just keep moving along.
Wow. And just to say, I'm doing some of that stuff too. So working with TV and movie stuff, that's like a good thing to do, really, when you're not playing live. And you know, the hard rock industry is a tough sell anyways these days. It's not like it used to be. Like when hard rock was in and we came out with this band,
right?
Oh, people would be all over it, you know, because that's how it is.
Right.
But now it's like, you know, oh, what the hell is this? You know what I mean?
Wow.
And you're like the 3,240th guy.
Wow. Wow. Marcus, when you did that tour that I got to see you on, how tough is being an independent band, going out on a U.S. tour, being basically self-financed and everything else? And I mean, you spent.
Right.
I think I saw you at in Cherry Hill or something like that, or
Cherry Hill.
Yeah, I forget Cherry something, And,
yeah, I remember driving.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Yeah. We played this place, man. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw in I think that was just like the second time I met Cass and Doug. Well, but anyways, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I smoked a bowl with them in the parking lot. I remember that. That was great. I was like, yes.
I mean,
I always loved that.
Tough
but yeah,
how tough is that? Like, I'm sure you slept in the car.
Let me explain. Here's an example. We made $50,000 on that whole run.
Right.
But it cost us $45,000 to do.
I hate when that happens.
Oh,
but you know what? It put me out there. It was it was a good experience. I knew that I had my own doubts because a lot of critics in the beginning thought the band was cool, but they didn't think I was going to be able to sing.
Right.
So I got to prove myself to a lot of people. I ended up working with Jeff.
Right.
Like that, and Benelli and Tony Franklin in the future, and worked with a lot of rad dudes in along the way. But that band, out of all the things I've done, was the one that put me on the map to say, hey, I'm for real.
Right. Yeah, I definitely remember a review saying how much longer can Marcus keep up with his voice and stuff like that. It got to be breaking down soon and stuff. I remember reading.
You know what? And I said something to you at that Cherry Hill, New Jersey gig. I said, hey, a lot of people said I wasn't going to be able to sing, and this is our 148th show.
Right. Yes, I remember all that.
And I killed it that night.
Yeah, it was amazing. And
yeah, New Jersey was fun. Those streets, man, with those graveyards that are like 15 feet off the ground. I'm like, what?
Wow. And let's go to Jeff now. Jeff, when them videos came out in the early days of Cinderella, I mean, it blew a lot of people away and stuff like that. And, can you tell me any recollection of, how fans waited online for you just to get autographs and stuff like that? What's that feeling like?
Well, at first it was weird.
Uh-huh.
Well, I started with Cinderella locally.
Right.
In Philadelphia and South Jersey.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a little weird. I mean, but see, I got in Cinderella because I was in a band that opened for them.
Right.
And when we opened for them, Cinderella was like even before they got signed, they were the local, like, great-ass band.
Right.
They were the coolest band, on the street, And so I used to play in a band that opened for them, and I would run upstairs, get changed, get dressed, come back down and watch them and envision me in that band.
Right.
I was like, this band is so good, but they'd be so much better if I was there. Straight up, man. Straight up.
Wow.
So that actually came to pass, and it was an odd situation. We played the same club every Saturday night at midnight.
Wow.
And sold the place out every Saturday night, and during the week, we would write more and more songs. So every Saturday night, the show was just a little different. We'd have a new song or two.
Right.
Every single Saturday night. And every Saturday night at that same club was packed.
Right.
At midnight. And then the only other times we played was like 2 nights, I think, 2 shows a month.
Wow.
We played at another club in Northeast Philly.
Wow.
And it was just obvious that this was something big.
Right.
Because no bands drew that many people that were doing original music.
Right.
Everybody was playing covers.
Mm-hmm.
Or, so I totally forgot what the question was.
Well, you know what? The cool thing about that is that Jeff is, from there on goes to open and tour, on their first album, open for Jovi, open for David Lee Roth,
right?
You know what I mean? And then later down the road, AC/DC. I was, that, 14, 15-year-old kid in the audience watching that happen. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I had, like, all those shows, let alone, I've seen every Kiss concert since, I could even consider even going to a concert. And, I've seen everybody, AC/DC, all those big bands. And I had nothing but just enthusiasm flowing, slapping me in the face,
Uh-huh. Definitely.
So it was kind of cool to see all those dudes in the Let Alone playing with Jeff later on. I never would have thunk it,
Right. Marcus, what would you tell a band today, going into music? What recommendations would you tell them guys, in the music business? Why are you laughing?
Marcus, what would you recommend?
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, and I know it's not like it used to be. I mean, if you think about it, if it was like that,
right?
Or okay, would I tell them play country music and play it damn good,
right?
Because that's a family over there. They don't,
right.
They help, and if you're good, they're like they notice, and something happens.
Right.
As far as hard rock goes,
right?
Hey, man, why aren't I famous?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I'm just telling you, playing, this kind. If you're going to play hard rock, I'd tell them to choose something that was for sure a gig. There is no for sure gigs in music, anyways.
Right.
It's all who you know.
Right.
I mean, do you really know who the bass player of Rihanna is?
Right. No.
Hey, you don't even know what the bass player of Foreigner's name is.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, then. So that's what I'm telling you. Wow. Music is a rough gig, man. It's not like it used to be where, seriously, it's not like it used to be when you could go, hey, that's Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Gene Simmons.
Right.
Okay? Nobody cares anymore. They know about the one dude who sings the song, maybe, and, it's just a joke. So,
right. Wow.
I wouldn't want to bring that guy down.
Right.
But I would say, hey, man, go play in the church, man, and get a good job.
Right, definitely. Well, what's your feeling that vinyl's making a comeback?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, where do you get a record player?
You
better go on eBay or something. Definitely. But it seems like a good collector item.
Yeah, if there's those people that I remember I used to have a cool Fisher one that had the double cassette thing and the big speakers and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I would crank all those albums, man. Like I had all the albums.
Right.
Like I even had Jeff's album, Cinderella, in there, man.
Wow.
All badass records, and it seemed like there was this certain warmth that is lost.
Right.
I don't know.
Definitely.
It's the analog thing,
Uh-huh. Definitely. Hey, Jeff, in
yes.
the early days, what albums did you listen to, you remember, as a kid?
Oh, my God. I was all about British rock.
Right.
So I was into Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, And
Judas Priest.
as far as my favorite American band was Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah.
I was a big fan of Alice Cooper growing up.
Right.
So, Alice Cooper was pretty much my role model.
Wow.
Not just Alice Cooper, but his band.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The hair.
Right.
They had the longest hair of any band ever.
Wow.
and the jewelry that they wore.
Right.
It's like Alice Cooper was probably my biggest influence.
Right.
As far as music.
Right.
And probably Jimmy Page was my biggest influence as far as guitar playing.
Right.
And producing and songwriting.
Uh-huh. So
Nice.
Jimmy, you would say Jimmy is the one who influenced you and to go into guitar?
Yeah, Jimmy Page, totally. Jimmy Page, Tony Iommi, Brian May
Right.
from Queen.
Wow.
That's how I learned how to play guitar.
Right.
And the Alice Cooper band is how I learned how to be a rock star.
Wow.
So
Definitely. That was probably my first concert. It was Alice Cooper and Susie Quattro.
Oh my God, I remember Susie Quattro.
I think that was my
Yeah, she was on Happy Days a couple
Yeah,
times, man.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Leather Tescadero.
I also listened to some of the like classical rock
Right.
of the 70s. I was also into Yes,
Uh-huh.
Genesis, Pink Floyd, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Wow.
I was all into that stuff too.
Wow. You're talking about shit that I got from Columbia House.
Right.
That was
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. How about you, Marcus? What was the first stuff you'd listen to?
Oh man. Well, see, my dad was really. My mom and dad were really musically. They didn't play anything. It was really weird. And my mom can't sing worth at all. She's terrible. Listen, I stood next to her in church when I was young, and it was like I was looking up at her, and she'd go, "Shut up! God loves my voice." And I'd be like, "I don't know.
That's great.
I don't know if he does, man." But either way, and my dad, he was like, into Zeppelin, Deep Purple,
Right.
Van Halen, Ozzy, Sabbath and stuff. So he had all that stuff. And then, when I was really young, I also, listened to the, Elvis albums that my dad had and stuff. So I was really, kind of forced into the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and those bands.
Right.
So I really had no choice, in the Guess Who and stuff like that. So, like, here's an example. Like, my dad would leave for work really early in the morning. He worked for Hewlett Packard.
Right.
But every morning he would crank something, and he would always for a month, man. He was cranking the Van Halen's first album,
Right.
and then the second album when that came out, and then blah blah blah. So he would just kind of like every time Van Halen would come out the new album, he'd pass me down the album from the year before.
Wow. Cool. That's very cool. Definitely.
And
my parents were
thinking for myself. I started getting into the Def Leppard, Cinderella,
Right.
and all that stuff.
See, now my parents were into rock music too.
Right.
Because my older brother Jack got the whole family into rock music of the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
So my brother Jack got my dad into like I said, Yes, Genesis, Pink Floyd,
Right.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer, that kind of stuff. So when they got into that, they would take me to concerts when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old.
Wow.
Until I was a teenager and I could go to concerts myself. But yeah, I saw Yes.
Wow.
Like in 1973. I'm fucking old. I'm telling you how old I am.
Right.
I was 10 years old.
Right.
In 1973. and I'm sitting there watching Yes do Roundabout.
Wow.
You know, live when it was like a new song.
Wow.
So, and I'm sitting there, my mom and my dad, my Japanese mom, like straight up, totally Japanese mom, and my dad. You know, I'm sitting there, and some guy, is like trying to hand me a joint.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God, my parents are right next to me. But this was my introduction to music.
Right.
My older brother Jack, and then my parents taking me to concerts. I went to so many concerts with my mom and dad.
Cool.
Before I was old enough in like junior high school to go to concerts myself.
Right.
But I've seen so many great concerts in Philly.
What venues were they?
Including the late great David Bowie.
Wow.
Wow.
I never saw him. But what venues in Philly did you see? Hey, here's me asking the question.
The Tower Theater and the Spectrum.
Right. Definitely.
And I saw my concerts in the Bay Area, basically like the Cow Palace, in the Oakland Coliseum, in the San Jose Civic.
Oh, I played the Cow Palace. I
Yeah, you did. I was there.
I know
both times that you did. Actually, I saw you 2 nights. You played 2 nights with David Lee Roth,
right?
And then 1 night with AC/DC in '88. Yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was crazy, dude. Craziness.
Cool.
But those are the reasons, I do what I do, because I've seen dudes like Tom Kiefer, and Joe Elliott, in those venues.
Right.
You know what I mean? With, Leopard, with Tesla opening,
Right.
Going, oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Wow.
So when you see that shit and you see it done that well, you're like, oh my God, it's either I got to be a badass or just I'm not doing this, you know?
Cool. So, welcome to the Freak Show. What are your hopes for that band? Either one of you.
Okay.
Marcus? Jeff?
I hope it
all right.
becomes huger.
Well, just like anything, you hope it does well.
Right.
It's been well received. We've had a video out now for about 3.5 months, and it's going at 26,000. So I mean, people are like catching on to it. We got another one coming out shortly in a couple weeks, possibly, for Welcome to the Freak Show,
right.
the title track. Well, it's not really a title track, but the same name as the band, first song on the album. So that'll be cool. So we'll kick out another video, and see what happens. But it's like everyone wishes that it goes the best. But to be honest with you, I like to just kind of come up with something new.
Right.
Really,
Yeah.
We want it to become fucking huge.
Don't everybody? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We want to be bigger than Taylor Swift. Totally.
Opening lot.
Cool. Well, it was great talking to both of you, and really enjoyable. I mean, like Marcus is a longtime friend and stuff like that, and I saw Jeff plenty of times live with Cinderella and stuff like that. I just wish you guys the best, and I really enjoy this interview. This is going to be our first Rockeyez interview of 2016, and
hey Jeff, just so you know, Brian, he's the total guitar pick collector.
Thank you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna want like some of your picks that you got there.
Okay.
And you know what? Last time I saw Jeff, I typed a couple Tom Kiefers.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I got a couple of those. But yeah, I'm gonna be making a couple new picks, and I'll get them to you, and then Jeff, I'll get you a couple of Jeffs too.
Cool. Thanks both of you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and hey, could you do me a favor, Brian?
Yeah, what?
Hey, review that album already.
I will. Promise.
All right, man.
Don't hang up, man. I'll talk to you in a minute. Talk to you later. Bye-bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, see ya.